and snap. Bend and snap, Christian. Come on, baby. You gotta bend and snap.
I hate this already.
Bend and snap.
Oh, fuck me.
Did you know that the bend and snap, weirdly enough, when it was made in the cheerleading universe, it was found to confuse and also intimidate the opposing team, but also turn heads of every man in the entire auditorium or stadium. Wow. Fun facts. You know, Christian, what did we watch this evening?
We unfortunately watched Legally Blonde, the musical.
Oh, hold on. What was that last part again, Christian? What was that last part?
Musical.
Yes, we did. So for those who don't know, there is a musical of everyone's favorite Reese Witherspoon flick of the 2001 classic known as Legally Blonde. But you know, we should probably get into the summary before we
Why don't you read that there summary thing?
Yeah, of course. I can do that. Prepare for trouble and make it double, because we're back with the second part of musical doubleheader month, baby. We're trying to go 2 for 2 this week after the rousing success that was Hamilton by showing Christian something completely the opposite style of the one he actually liked. We trade the battlefield of war for that of the courtroom, switch our male-dominated cast for a female-dominated one, and the dark blue hue surrounding Hamilton's life with that of the bubbly pink demeanor of Elle Woods. This musical, based on the movie, based on the novel of the same name, follows Elle Woods as she decides to tackle law school after being broken up with her by her law student boyfriend Warner. What first starts as a way of regaining the love she lost in Warner quickly becomes a genuine desire to learn law and help struggling people through it. Along the way, she encounters an abundance of characters that will shape her journey, including, but not limited to, creepy professors, a hairdresser cosplaying as Weird Barbie, the most standard white guy you've ever seen, and the hottest delivery guy you've seen outside of the spicy side of the internet. But at the end of the day, when all is said and done, the only thing that matters is that you are true to yourself and also have a secret handshake with every person you know. Wait a minute, is that a bit? Did I miss that bit? That's a bit, isn't it?
I noticed it like after the third time. Like every other person she encounters in this show, she has some sort of different handshake with, mostly contained to her original friend group, but then over time kind of develops it with a bunch of different people. And I'm like, when did you have time to do this, and also why?
Oh, okay. I definitely missed this bit. This is oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it happens like 5 or 6 times, I want to say.
Well, you know, I mean, that's pretty good. But, you know, actually, this is interesting. I didn't even notice the very far counter to what we had just got done reviewing in Hamilton, being the dark and blue and also rap opera that is Hamilton versus the very classic musical energy, very bright, vibrant, fun, and pink that is Legally Blonde. We really have reached 2 different sides of the spectrum, haven't we, Christian?
Oh, we certainly did, and I noticed it immediately.
So Christian.
Yeah, what's up, Brendan?
Let's get it all out. Let's lay it all out there. Come on. What did you love about the show that you watched tonight? What were your favorite parts? I'm gonna say it that way because I feel like if I give you the floor too much without any line.
Favorite parts. There was dog presence in the show. Love dogs. Dogs are great.
And real dogs too. You know that I imagine how hard that was to train.
I imagine not that hard, but like they didn't do like a whole lot. I mean, she has her dog at the beginning. It's a bag dog that she carries around everywhere. And then there's the hairdresser's dog, right? I'm not missing any.
I mean, no, you're not missing any, but like imagine those dogs doing that like daily, you know, and not fucking it up ever.
I guess that's fair. Dogs can get fatigued too, I suppose, but
well, more importantly, like imagine being on stage and like, you know, the dog's supposed to do something and like it doesn't. And you're just like, oh, well, I guess we just fuck off. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the dogs have minimal roles. They really just kind of appear, and like her bag dog it just exists for her to have bag dog, which I assume is a feature of the original movie. By the way, I should get this out of the way off the bat as well. Never seen the original movie or read the book for that matter, but
So I feel like I should get this out of the way too. No, hold on. I have seen the original movie. In fact, if anything, before this evening, this is my first time seeing this musical. I don't know if that was
okay.
Yes, I have actually never seen this in any live sense. I thought I did, but it must have been a fever dream because there's no. So in my mind, I always like assume that there's like a made for movie musical version of like these older shows that, you know, were from my past or whatever. This one does not have one. The way we watched this evening, fun fact, is a MTV like live recording, like that they televised on MTV, and it just so happens to be like on the internet for everyone to find or whatever. Complete the version that we watched anyway, or that I watched. I don't know if Christian found another one. I assume not. The version that I watched and we watched has literally like the cuts to commercials like during the fucking show. So we watched the musical, but just like the televised recording of it.
Yeah, I mean it's the same. It's essentially the same way we watched Hamilton, where it's professionally recorded in a way. It's just recorded in a way that is a little bit less high definition than Hamilton, because it was made to go on TV, not to be presented as a movie like Hamilton was. So, and also it was like 16 years ago, 17 years ago, as opposed to Hamilton, which was 2015. So, and then, yeah, like you're saying, it was made for TV special. So about 5 or 6 times throughout the movie, it cuts to commercials, and you get these little interludes of MTV people, personalities interacting with the cast and doing this and that or whatever it is. Those were great. You want to know why they were great? Because each one meant that there was less time than I thought I had to watch this movie.
You saw the 2.5 hour runtime and you were like, please, for the love of God, let that be 40 minutes of MTV cutaway.
I saw the 2:12 timer on YouTube. By the way, this is available on YouTube. I don't know if you mentioned that before, but we watched it on YouTube. We watched the same version of it, and I saw the 2:12 run timer. And I went, okay, that probably a little bit less so because it's an MTV thing and not an actual movie recording. Like there's probably only 1 or 2 minutes of credits at the end. So then I was like, oh, this is legitimately like an over 120 minute adventure. And then you get the first of those sort of interludes at like, I don't know, 35 minutes or something into the whatever 35-40 minute mark. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess this was like these were just things that they did, or these are commercial stopping points in the airtime. And then it happens a couple more times, and I was like, oh, this is great. Each one of these cuts down like 1 or 2 minutes. It's effectively like accounting for credits that would normally be at the end of a movie. So when all was said and done, it really was just like a 2-hour thing commitment, which, 12 minutes, not a whole lot to scoff at, but I'll take it.
So, okay, but before I question your choice of words there, I want to finish my thought. I have seen the original movie, and I highly recommend it. It's actually a really fucking fun movie. I would say it obviously teeters on the far side of camp, but it's a lot more approachable from like a universal audience than. I'm going to say this show definitely has a target audience, and I don't think it's 100% of everybody. I'm going to be honest. So Christian, my impression and my guess is that you did not have quite as good a time with this as you maybe did with Hamilton.
I would say that's a very accurate and thinly veiled opinion you have. Yes. I think so. I think it's not hard to find out.
Well, I want to say, I'm not surprised in the slightest. So I'm very acquainted with this show, at least like through the soundtrack and whatnot. I remember back when I was in high school, the one where it's like where I forget his fucking name. Warren wants to break up with Elle or whatever at the beginning. Yeah. That one was fucking musical theater kid, like everyone fucking sang that song. I knew it almost by heart at one point in time. I've heard the soundtrack numerous times through my sister. She was a big fan of the show back in the day when it was out airing on Broadway, what have you. I did not know that they did this MTV like live like recording thing. That the fact that this exists is complete news to me. I had no idea this existed. So that was kind of fun. But other than that, I'm a musical fan. But
really?
I know what I'm getting in. I know what I'm getting into. Okay, listen, I'm a musical fan, and I know what I'm getting into. I would say, even by my standards, I liked this show. I liked it. I don't know if I was in love with it, and I feel like I might break Pooh's heart saying that. Oh man, honestly, because this is what I find. I think musicals are a lot of fun. I love the music and I love the staging, and the characters are a lot of fun in this show. But what makes a musical stand out in my mind is how they break the mold from show to show. This, for the most part, other than like it's really, really, really good choreography, that's its only standout in my mind. That separates it from all the other fucking average ass shows on Broadway. The fucking choreography for all the dance numbers was fucking insane. But as far as like the music goes and like the story progression, I don't know, it was kind of like it was like normal, you know. Like it didn't jump off the page for me. Is all I'm saying. Go ahead.
No, I'm glad you feel similarly, and that you are not like nostalgia glasses into liking a musical just for the sake of musical.
I'm gonna give you the same critique because this is how my brain works. All right. So when we did Mamma Mia 1, I feel like this is comparable to a Mamma Mia experience. Mamma Mia 1, I think all the characters are kind of fucking stupid, but I have a great time because it is manufactured like conflict for the sake of manufactured conflict. It's soap opera. It's dumb fun. I can get behind it. And also, who the hell doesn't want to listen to fucking, what's that Swedish band again? I already forgot their name.
ABBA.
ABBA. Thank you. Mamma Mia 2? Fucking what? All of a sudden, they knew how to write a plot. I don't know what happened. And the music was also fantastic. And all the characters had a much better progression. The story boarding was phenomenal. I loved all the past stuff. Mamma Mia 2 was by far and above a superior experience. Mamma Mia 1, like a 6. Mamma Mia 2, like an 8. This is like that 6.5 to 7 line where it's mostly your average everyday experience. What you're here for is the laughs, and in my opinion, I think the dance numbers are fucking insane. I remember when they did the jump rope bit, I was like, God damn, I see what you're doing, guys. That takes a lot. I can definitely tell you guys are having a real hard one out there. So, all that being said, I am not going to sit here with nostalgia glasses and be like, oh my God, sips tea. This is one of my favorite shows of all time, the soundtrack. Did you hear that soundtrack,
Impeccable.
Christian? Oh my God, you guys. They don't write them like they used to, Christian. No, I ain't like that with this one. This one's this one's good. It's there. It's fun. I would not spend over $100 to see this show. I don't think live even today.
Yeah,
I would see it.
I don't know that I'd be throwing around the good word in reference to this musical, but
come on,
no,
you didn't have at least a little bit of fun.
So I want to go back to your question from before about the things that I did like of this show.
Oh no, here we go.
So dogs always great time. Doesn't matter the context really, unless they're dying, then we don't want that. But this is happy-go-lucky musical time, and so the dogs are fine, so we like that. I liked one or two songs. I think the only one I can pick off from my memory is Chip on Your Shoulder from Emmett when he's trying to get Elle to be more serious about shit.
That's kind of interesting because I feel like that's got to be the weakest track in the show.
I enjoyed Chip on Your Shoulder. It was fine. Is decent enough. Maybe I just liked him. If I had to pick a favorite character, Emmett probably is my favorite, but that's because I don't really give a shit about any of the other ones. Anyone else is just very neutral or a bad person. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the only other person that could like really make a running, I think, for anybody as their favorite character would be the hairdresser. I don't even remember her name. Did she have a name? Who knows?
She does have a name. Her name was Paulette.
Cool. The hairdresser, probably the only other person in the running that could be the favorite. I guess outside of Elle herself.
I love Paulette. Paulette was great.
Yeah, she's got moments.
Okay, continue. Go on. Let's get it all out there. Let's lay it all out there early.
I think also part of that scene or series of scenes where he's doing Chip on Your Shoulder comes one of my favorite quotes from it, and he says, Elle is very incredulous at the idea that he's been working 2 jobs for so long to put himself through law school, and Emmett goes, haven't slept since 1992, and I go, fucking same, dog. Not specifically that year, but I feel that pain.
Yeah, right.
Great quote. Also, another dog related moment when they get the bulldog back for the hairdresser. See, I already forgot the name you told me earlier. Paulette. When they get the dog back from Paulette's ex-boyfriend or whatever, and Elle exclaims as they walk away, was that law? That was just like,
is that how law works?
Is this a law? Like the meme of the anime kid looking up at the butterfly and
the butterfly. This is law.
That kind of killed me just because it sounded so funny, not because she was so happy about getting the dog back. It was just like the face she made and then going, "Oh my God, I can law now," and like I just that kind of killed me. I don't know that I have anything else off the top of my head that I can tell you, or from my notes. Anyway, I'm like staring at my notes for like positive things, and I just like can't.
You're like, all right, Callahan, jackass arc. Who saw that one coming?
Right.
Warren getting dumped by his girlfriend and trying to repropose at the end, and then Elle says no. Wow, I didn't expect that one. I'm guessing what your notes are, like as you see plot elements play out. You're just like scoffing at each one.
I'm just staring into a void, looking at my screen and looking past the musical playing out on it and seeing my own reflection in it and staring into my own eyes, wondering how I got to this moment. That's what I did a lot of during that 2-hour runtime.
Well, it'd be that way.
So, Brendan,
go ahead.
Tell me what you enjoyed about this, besides the choreography and a couple other things you've already mentioned.
I think the choreography is bar none the number one shining spot in this entire show. I think that the numbers themselves, the music itself, it's very classic musical theater energy. Very boisterous, very loud, a lot of like, you got your when your cast numbers are together, everyone's like super high energy bumping around. And then like when a single character's on the stage, they're doing like their little mini ballads or whatever. Everything's very classic here. I think I enjoyed the second song in the show when they do break up. I think it's called the Serious. That's what it's called. I think that's a great track. Probably my favorite track in the show, even though I easily heard it the most. Second favorite track is probably the Bend and Snap, because I think that one's kind of funny. I think Bend and Snap is a good time.
Okay.
But beyond that, I mean, I would say I think it did. Okay, so this is what I wanted to get out a little earlier too. So I've seen the movie front to back, but I don't remember it quite as well as I probably should. I am unaware how closely this show follows the events of the movie. I assume mostly, but they might have taken liberties in this show to like manufacture a new musical number. I can't be 100% certain, or like a joke or two here and there. I think it followed it mostly the same, and I hope I'm wrong, because I remember the movie being a little bit better, like thematically, than what this plot had here today. I'm going to be honest with you. Also the main girl who plays Elle did a fantastic job. I mean, I can't fault any of the cast members. They clearly had a blast doing this. And they are not the problem. If I have like a complaint with the show. It's just that, you know, it's like it's just very it's very common. There's very little to like sink your teeth into that makes it go, oh yeah, that's like a one of a kind experience. Like I've got a fucking laundry list of shows that can give you a one of a kind experience, and I can give you the bullet points that say A, B, C, D, and E or whatever as to why it is that way. This is just like middle of the road. Good times, good feeling. Everything's really high energy almost the entire way through. I love the jokes though. Pretty much any time they made a joke, I did laugh. So I'll give them that. I don't think that any of the jokes didn't land, to be fair. So that is what I did like. Otherwise, I was just kind of like, you know, I was vibing. Probably not vibing quite as poorly as you, though.
Oh, you think maybe, huh?
Yeah, maybe not quite as poorly as you. Hey, listen, man. Yeah, this is why when I recommend you a musical, I would vet it. I always vet it. In this case, we didn't have that luxury for you this afternoon, I don't think.
No, we didn't.
Oh,
no, I was kind of thrust off the deep end on this one.
Yeah,
had it a little too good last time.
Yeah, you had it a little too good last time. A little too good last time. You know, I will say though, this show, it did get nominated for like 9 awards the year that it came out. Do you know how many it won?
Hopefully none.
Actually, none.
Okay, good.
You're like fucking good.
Yeah, I don't know what it was up against, but they probably deserved it more than Legally Blonde the musical.
I actually don't know what it was up against. Although I did see when we were watching the MTV recording of it, they had like shots of like Times Square or whatever. And Young Frankenstein was like, I guess, playing next to it or something like that, as well as like a 10-year anniversary of Chicago. And Chicago's a great show. And Young Frankenstein's pretty good. So I don't know. Maybe it was up against Young Frankenstein that year. I don't remember how old Young Frankenstein is. That show is definitely some old shit. I don't remember when it came out. Might have been 2006. Might not have. I don't know. I'm not. 2006 is a weird year for me, like musical theater wise, because I was like in middle school. I didn't seek out musical theater until like closer to like 2009, 2008 territory, give or take. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That was really more of my like musical theater. Oh man, I like this stuff. I enjoy seeing it. I want to watch more of it and listen to more of it. Like right around when Across the Universe came out and Spring Awakening came out would have been like my top time. Spring Awakening came out, I believe, 2009. Would have been your favorite Jonathan Groff, the King from Hamilton.
Oh,
and
was he spitting all over people in that one too?
He was spitting all over
fuck yeah.
and getting laid. They had actual sex on stage. Yeah, they had actual sex on stage.
Wow.
That was a bit.
That's bold.
Yeah, yeah, it was a whole thing. Yeah, it was. Do you know the name Leah Michele by name?
I do.
Okay, she and Jonathan Groff were the main leads in the show when it debuted on Broadway, and yeah, that was like the thing was like it was really risque because they were literally just fucking on stage.
Wild.
Yeah, it was a little, well, it was like a part of the show because it had to do with like, you know, sexual awakening, and you know, it was like in the 1700s when people didn't want to talk about like, you know,
I mean, I get that. That's fine. Like it can be about that, but live sex, that's next level.
It's a whole thing. They did it on a swing.
Oh, even better.
Well,
so was there just like, so okay, so then were you as an audience member, were you witnessing actual penetration, or was there like a did they put a curtain up and you just see the shadows or some shit?
I'll put it this way. My impression and my understanding is there was penetration for the actors, but they were like mostly clothed. So you just kind of like saw bare ass and then like upskirt with like panties moved out of the way. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah, no, like they were as far as I know, they were like fucking.
They were going down. They
were. You know, maybe I'm giving like fake shit. I know that there was like a quote unquote sex scene on stage. Maybe I'm giving you bad intel. You know, this is 2009. You know, I was young. I was naive. I believed everything I heard. Is all I'm saying.
Right.
But yeah, this show, however, I don't think it has the spark that makes Spring Awakening have any staying power. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's where I come back to. It's just good. It's only good.
There you go, using that G word again.
I think it's good. I do. I think it's a fun time. It's not a waste of time. It's worth your time. And if you're willing to sit down, turn your brain off, watch. Let's just like run through all the plot elements. We got Elle. She's a sorority girl from UCLA. She's ready to get married to her loved one or whatever, her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's an asshole. Immediately breaks up with her. And he goes, I'm going to go to Harvard because I'm going to be somebody someday. And I got to marry somebody who's, and he uses this whole bit. I want to marry a Jackie Kennedy and you're a Marilyn Monroe. And I'm like, bruh.
I know, right?
what are you on about?
Yeah.
First of all, I don't think you're trading downward, sticking with a Marilyn Monroe. And number two, what do you mean Jackie Kennedy? I mean, I guess I sort of understand like thematically what he's going for, but like, I don't know, scumbag. Anyway, he goes to Harvard. He's like, I'm going to go like do my thing. And then she just kind of like, I'm defeated. And then decides like, but what if I get into Harvard?
What if I also did law?
what if I also did law? Do get that soundbite? Because, we also have that One Piece podcast. What if I also did law? And she fucking does it. She just studies for a test. She does really good on the test. And then I also love this bit too when they cut to them reviewing the whatever the thing at Harvard or whatever, like all the applicants, and they're like, she didn't send her an essay. She must not want to be here. And then it immediately cuts to, just kidding, we're all here and check her out.
Yeah.
Whole ass band entourage comes out of nowhere. Like that shit's fun. That's just dumb.
Like they just know when the professors or whoever administrators were going to be looking at the papers on that specific day at that specific time.
Well, I mean, come on. Okay, I'm just saying, Christian, you're sounding like a hater. Is all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, that's definitely true, and that's a bit of a nitpick that goes unnecessarily. Like, yeah, I don't care that much about it. It's a musical. You have to abide by weird timelines, like when they're in the courtroom later. Logic. At the end of the movie, and then they're just suddenly in a bathroom. Like it's musical logic. I don't care that much.
Also, the girls from her sorority that like constantly showed up as her
like
conscience.
Ghosts. Yeah.
I love that bit. I thought that was.
I'm not convinced they were ever real in the first place.
Well, no, of course they were, because at the end when they showed up for the last time, and she's like, "Oh, hold on, I don't have enough like bandwidth to be like seeing you guys right now." And they're like, "No, we're actually here. Like, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, yeah, it was a thing. I just thought it was funny. Like they start showing up in white throughout the show, and I'm like, are they ghosts? Like, are they just like different facets of her personality coming into play? Like that would be funny.
She needs guidance, and she didn't have the support group that she had back in California. She's out in, where's Harvard again? Is it Pennsylvania?
Somewhere.
I think it might be. It's somewhere in the East Coast, Midwest. So she's out on the other side of the country. Massachusetts, thank you. She's out on the East Coast. She's 2,000 miles from home. She has no idea what's going on. She has one friend that she's made. Oh, and I also love this when she meets Paulette, her stylist or whatever. She just kind of like runs in and goes like, "Hey, make me brunette." And then Paulette's like, "Huh?" What I love most about this scene is that this isn't a "who the hell are you? Get out of my store," because that wouldn't be what we do. The first thing she says is, "What are you talking about? You have like perfect hair. I would never do that. That would be criminal." Like she's immediately in on the bit without missing a beat.
Yeah.
And goes like, no, honey, you don't understand. You have the hair. It would be a crime. It would, again, like in the Geneva Convention, if I made you a brunette. What a dumb fucking gag. She has no support group. She's flying by the seat of her pants, and she just, she brought them into her life, like she just needed a little bit of support or whatever, you know what I mean? So, yeah, like all of her sorority sisters as ghosts in her mind, and she's probably not schizophrenic. I'm going to say probably. Don't worry about it.
I was just saying, like, but imagine if they were all just like personalities. Imagine how much more interesting that would be.
Imagine how much more interesting the show could be.
Yeah.
You're thinking, man.
Yeah.
We also get the first scene when she jumps into the classroom, and we meet Callahan and Vivienne for the first time. Vivienne being Warren's new girlfriend. Blah blah blah. And then this crushes Elle, because at first glance she goes like, "Hey, I want to answer the one about the dogs again," or some shit like that. When Callahan asks her a question, and he goes like, "So you didn't read the reading?" And she's like, well, who the fuck assigns reading like before we get to our first class? Like, come on.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, honestly, like she wasn't even wrong. Let's be real. And then Callahan's like, what should I do, Vivienne? Turning to another student, like, what would you do in this situation, Vivienne? And then Vivienne's like, I'd kick her the fuck out. And so he's like, you heard her. Get the fuck out of my class. I don't know. I found that to be kind of funny and silly. I think that's what another thing I like. I know I said I like the jokes. It's a silly show. I'm here for the silly. It's just that it's like a lot of silly a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time. What did you think of the bit where she figured out that the witness dude was gay? Did you were you into that bit or not?
It's fine. I'm not sure. I don't know. It feels weird.
We don't like jokes about is he gay or European?
I mean, it's like I don't know. It feels like a weird thing to just like have be part of your loose plot in this show. It's like kind of funny. And definitely a example of the time period that this was made in and written in. Mm-hmm. So it's funny to me. I would laugh at a joke like that and I giggled a little bit, but it kind of inherently is a little weird in a show where they're really trying to build up women being independent, and then they want to take this other group of people and be like, but we're gonna make a joke at your expense though. So
yeah, I kind of agree.
and this kind of goes across the entire show as a whole, where, like I said, it's supposed to be about building up women's independence, especially from men, not having to rely on the men to be the breadwinner, and that women can be smart. She doesn't have to just be eye candy for somebody. She can go and actually use her brain and become someone who can learn and obtain this higher education or higher form of career. That's not just like modeling or whatever it was she was planning to do at the beginning of the movie, you know, which is totally fine. It's a noble career, but as well, nothing wrong with it. But in a way where, in a show where we're trying to build up this idea that women can be more than the stereotypes that have become of them, then there's multiple instances where I'm just kind of like, we're taking a little too long, or this really roundabout way to get to the point. Like she spends like 3/4 of this show before she realizes that Warner's a piece of shit. You know, like I feel like she's and I mean, there's an argument, I guess, to be made that, you know, when you're in love with someone, you do dumb stuff, or like you're blinded to the truth potentially. But I just feel like there were so many examples of people telling her otherwise in the show that just like, or like
did
the
anyone
awful
really
things that she did.
Ever tell? I don't know. I want to ask this. Did anyone ever really tell her Warner's not good enough for her?
I mean, I can remember a specific instance that Emmett is like, look, this dude makes you actively dumber. And I
think that was when she was like, you're kind of right. Holy shit. And then she like, you know, started taking like the murder case more seriously or whatever.
That's the inciting moment of like turnaround. But doesn't the hairdresser also kind of talk about it also, or does she not ever really realize who Warner was?
I know she like presses L to hit on Emmett because she was like, oh, he's like fucking, he's pretty attractive, blah blah blah. But I don't think she ever badmouthed Warren specifically. But, you know, it kind of sets like a weird precedent for your main character that she requires like somebody else to tell her instead of her discovering for herself. Like, this dude you're going for is kind of a piece of shit, you know?
And especially, I guess, just across how all of the shitty things that he does to her or in front of her, that just, I don't know. It feels like at some point she should have learned before Emmett was like, yo, dude, your IQ go. I think the line is like, your IQ goes down to 40 or something whenever like Warner's around. And that's when she realized, I feel like if you're going to build her up to be someone who inherently is much smarter than she gives off, like you have her realize at some point before that that she doesn't need this guy to move on with her career and also her life as a whole, you know? And this kind of goes across, this isn't just limited to Elle either. There are like having Vivian become the new, not necessarily eye candy, but essentially the accessory to Warner the entire time. And maybe a couple instances of like her friends in Harvard just being, it feels very flimsy, the sort of like upholding of women that they're trying to stand on. It feels a little flimsy in this. I don't know how it feels in the actual movie. Again, I haven't watched it, but they seem like they're trying to get you to buy into this message, but I don't feel like they do a very good job of it.
That's why I was actually planning on rewatching the original Legally Blonde before watching this, but I just didn't have the time, because I was really hoping to come in here with both in my pocket and be like, you know, this is what the original did well, this is versus like the musical, or the musical did well versus the original.
Right.
I sort of remember the original movie having a much cleaner line than this movie ended up taking, at least when it came to character growth and progression. Don't take my word for it, obviously. Like, I'm a big dumb idiot, and it is a 2001 movie, and I probably haven't seen it in 8 to 10 years. Let's be real. But I sort of feel like it had a little bit better plot progression, just like a hair. At least in terms of characters. You know, it's funny you also mentioned the part about this being a product of its time. I couldn't help but notice that after fucking Callahan literally assaulted Elle, she very explicitly refers to it as Callahan hit on me a second ago, and I'm like, that's. I don't think he hit on you. I'm pretty sure he just assaulted you. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, that was hard one.
That was an interesting one that I definitely caught immediately, and I'm like, is that what we used to call it in 2006? Man, times do be changing. Yeah, this is a product of its time, and probably written by a bunch of white men, if I'm gonna be honest with you, which is the real irony of the situation.
Who knows? Maybe. It's very likely. It's true.
But we talked about the man who they sussed out as gay. The rest of the reason why they were at a trial in the first place is of course because everyone knows this woman, Brooke Wyndham, of athletic fame, was not committed. No, she was, what's the word when you say somebody did something? Accused of murdering her husband, in fact. And she hires Callahan and whatever team he picks to help her with her case. Callahan picks Elle and all the other fucking schmucks. And eventually, after figuring out that one of the witnesses on the because she's the plaintiff. Who's the other one? There's plaintiff and fucking, I forget now. We used to be lawyers all the time on the cast. How do I not know what the thing other than plaintiff is?
Oh, that was defendant? So long ago.
That's kind of fair. I think it's defendant and plaintiff. It might be that. So I guess she's the defendant, and then the plaintiff is the one accusing. Anyway, the plaintiff's witness was fucking lying out his ass. He was like, "Oh, like I'm her lover," and he was gay. So that can't be the case. Moving on to the rest of the thing. At this point, Callahan is like, he had assaulted Elle, and then Elle was devastated. She comes back because everyone's like, "You need to come back, Elle. Like, you're great at this. Like, don't run away." And then Elle's like, "You know what? I fucking won't run away. And by the way, take this fucking blue ass fucking suit. I'm gonna be wearing pink all the time again." Which, love that for her. I do love that for her. Comes back. Callahan's ass is fired. Callahan's like, "Oh, you can't defend her because you're not a licensed fucking lawyer." And then Emmett from the back is like, "She is now because I'm supervising, bitch." And she successfully wins by not accusing, but the daughter. So Brooke was there for being accused of murdering her husband, and the husband's bio daughter was there and was brought to the stand. and she had a perm. And after she had mentioned that she had a perm and that her alibi was that she was in the shower at the time of her dad's death, this is what brought Elle to be like, that's really fucking weird because you have a perm. Everybody, I take us to the bathroom. And then at first I was like, oh, this is going to be like a bit where we're going to like, you know, hey, walk, like stay with me for a minute as I take you to the bathroom, but we're like in the courtroom. No, the whole fucking cast stands up and goes back to the scene of the crime, to the bathroom.
Yes.
And for some reason, and then they start playing out this bit where one of our friends has a perm and goes like, hey, would you go in the shower for 5 seconds? And then she comes out and her hair is no longer a perm. She's like, you see, if she was in the shower, she would no longer have a perm. Apparently.
Yeah.
That's
apparently
just
how it works. Yeah.
She clearly didn't go back to getting her perm. I mean, because that would just be silly.
Yeah, it's a lot of money wasted.
Although, to be fair, she did at one point say she was getting a perm before the shower. You wouldn't get your perm and then immediately take a shower. Like, that's just stupid, obviously. Like, come on.
well, like, I mean, well, no, because it ruins the perm. Or do you just mean like you wouldn't get a haircut and then immediately jump in the shower? Is that what you're talking about?
No, specifically the perm. Because at one point she was like, where were you before the shower? And she was like, oh, I was getting my perm. And then she was like, that's odd. So you went to get a perm and then immediately came home and jumped in the shower.
Yeah. When you're not supposed to, because it ruins the
sus.
chemical whatever that they do to make you have perm. I don't know. So
long story short, the daughter meant to kill Brooke, apparently, and was like, I accidentally killed my father. I didn't mean to. And then everyone everyone won, I guess. It was a happy ever after from there on.
Whatever. Because we had to do this whole thing where halfway through the movie we learned that the fitness influencer was actually getting liposuction just before that. So, but she didn't want to reveal it to her followers. So she balanced, okay, I could either reveal that I was getting liposuction and have my followers be disappointed in me, or I could just go to jail for life.
Yeah, like that's obviously like this is a very hard this is a hard decision, Christian. I don't think you're understanding just how severe the consequences of these actions would be.
you mean balancing, okay, I lose some followers and my reputation takes a bit of a blow, but ultimately I can come out the other side with a career still, or I have no career because I'm in jail for the rest of my life.
Well, you know, I mean, there's a lot at stake, Christian. Okay, we can't put a number on the amount of followers that could leave her. What if she no longer has a career? It could be the end of her career.
Okay, fine. She's still not in jail though.
Yeah, this is that dumb manufactured conflict.
We're just this is I don't know, and I would love to know. This is one of the things I would love to know, what it was like in the movie as compared to this. Like, is this a 1-for-1 thing, or did they just do this for the musical?
I genuinely kind of don't remember. I want to know too, which is why I want to watch the movie.
That's fine. I don't know. I mean, part of me wants to watch the movie just so I have the frame of reference, but I disliked this show enough that I'm like, do I really care? Is it worth another 2 hours of my time just so I can have a couple frames of reference for the show I already don't like? If this was a show I liked, then I would be more willing to sit down and commit another 2 hours to a movie that could give me reference points. But I don't give a shit about this musical. So I don't really care enough to watch Legally Blonde the movie.
Oh no. You know what? I'll do you a solid, Christian. When I rewatch Legally Blonde, I'll go ahead and I'll feed you the filter, all right? I'll give you the skinny. I will. I probably won't tell you if it's a 1-for-1, but I'll tell you if it's better or worse. And you can probably infer that if it's better than the musical, there's a good chance that they probably took a slightly different direction in this moment.
Yeah. I can tell you, I know what a lot of people on Letterboxd think.
Oh boy.
And we'll get to those later, but
we'll get to those later.
A lot of people have a certain opinion on the comparison between the movie and musical that may be found interesting. I don't know.
Interesting. But after, of course, Elle wins she wins the trial. We just kind of fast forward to after they graduate or whatever. Paulette met a UPS guy named Kyle, middle name Brendan, by the way. Great guy.
Yeah.
And they got married and had like 3 kids in the span of 3 years.
Fucking wild, right? Like,
poor woman has not been not pregnant for the better part of 3 years.
Yeah, she just really is pumping out those goddamn kids, man. Like they have 2 and a third on the way in 3 years. And she just didn't ever spend a moment without her hormones balanced, like just not going crazy. It's insanity to me. Insane.
That's a lot. I can't imagine what this poor woman has put herself through.
She got back from the hospital after giving birth to 1 kid and was like, all right,
round 2,
fire
baby.
me up. I'm ready.
Jesus Christ. And she was like pregnant too at the time of this like end of 3 years. So you know that like easily there could have been maybe a 4-month respite in between each one at most.
Oh no.
She was back to back preggo.
Not even, it can't even be 4 months.
Well, I mean, usually a term is like 9, isn't it? Or it might be 10.
I mean, it's like 9-ish, depending on how well it goes. But then,
right.
You have 3 months in between, 9 months. So like, if you're going to do it in 3 years, like you don't have very long to just take a break in those instances,
She's like out. She's like done in a month and goes like, I'm getting stir crazy. I think I need to get pregnant again.
Fucking wild. Baby fever to the max, bro. What is happening?
Yeah, they rode her into baby fever pretty hard, I think. I mean, it'd be one thing if like, we got married and now we have a kid on the way. But the fact that they were like, we have 2 kids and another one on the way. Yeah. I'm like, fuck.
It also means that they got down to business like right fucking away. Like as soon as that trial was over and the like before they did the time skip, they were right in there. Boom, 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 boom. Like just with no hesitation.
Zero hesitation whatsoever. I don't know, but he's from Ireland, so he has to be a good person.
They do that whole Irish jig thing in the middle of the show. That was something.
that was interesting. Callahan tried to be governor and he failed.
Fuck that guy.
Shit. Before we get to the time skip, Warren and Vivian broke up. Vivian broke up with Warren's sorry ass, and then Warren has the fucking audacity to be like, I didn't see what was right in front of me, babe. Will you please marry me after all? Make me the happiest guy. And she's like, ooh, Vivian broke up with you, didn't she? that was a good burn. That was a good sick burn. And then he was just like, yeah, you got me. All right. Yeah, she fucking dumped my ass. Fucking, well, you should have realized what you had when you had it, dickhead. Fucker.
Yeah.
Anyway,
fuck this.
And probably the only, not the only, the biggest pro woman move is when they have Elle propose to Emmett at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
At the end of the musical, which was like kind of fun and kind of sweet. I didn't hate that. And I do think that happens at the end of the movie as well. But I could be a big dirty liar.
I didn't hate that either.
I'm really surprised at how little I remember of the movie after watching the musical. Like, I feel like I had no memories came back to me other than the dog. The dog came back to me.
It's just going to turn out that the musical took such a left turn from the actual movie at some point.
Honestly, I'm wondering if that has to be the case. Maybe that's why I just don't remember any of these beats playing out the way that they did, because I just don't remember. It's not that I don't remember any of this happening, because I loosely know the story happened. But like, I don't think that these details played out the way they did in the movie. Like, I think they were just like a little bit better strung together. But I could be fucking wild. That could be the nostalgia glasses talking. But yeah, I mean, otherwise that was it, baby. Like that was the show. Like, it was. I thought it was good. I'm sticking with good. I stand by good.
I am happy at least that you are sticking to your convictions and what you believe in. That's admirable.
I'm going to say this. I would see this show live. I would see it again. I don't. And I know, I said it earlier, I know I would not spend north of $100 to see this show. If you told me the show was on Broadway for $50, I'd go. That's where I stand.
Not same.
You're like, I'm not spending $50 on this
I'm
shit.
I'm not spending $10, dude. Like there has to be a very explicit reason that I'm being dragged to it, and I want to emphasize dragged to the show. There I don't know what that reason would be. I'd have to cross that bridge if I ever got there, but it would take a lot of doing to get me in a seat for that live show. This was not good. I did not care about this in the slightest. I watched it and I absorbed what I was watching, and I recognized that this is a happy-go-lucky type show where you're just supposed to kind of turn your brain off and just experience what's happening. But I turned my brain off, but not because I wanted to have fun or that was the way you're supposed to do it. I turned my brain off because otherwise it would have fried. I would have imploded because it's just, I didn't want to do it after the first like 15, 20 minutes of the show. And then I had another hour and a half to go. So
the man turned to static within the first 10 minutes.
I really did. I am not joking about the staring into my own soul through my monitor screen, because it really was just like, and I was slightly tipsy at the time also. So
okay, and honestly, that's the best way to enjoy something like this. I feel like.
Yeah, and honestly, if I was not, who know, I definitely would have had worse opinions about this. I might not have liked anything outside of Dog, but I was slightly tipsy, and so that gave me some slight amusement for certain things, and that's fine. Yeah, this is what I was afraid of when we had two musicals to do. This was the exact type of musical that I am extremely averse to. So
yeah, this is your standard classic formula, right? I think that is why it's not something that I would normally recommend to someone of your caliber. If I'm going to recommend you a musical that I think is worth your time, I'm going to make sure that it's vetted by the classic filter.
Yeah, well, take me to more Hamilton or give me Lion King, where they got all the people in puppet costumes as the animals flying across the screen and shit.
Hell yeah. Oh, that shit's fire too, man.
I'd sit down and watch The Lion King for the same $50, but that you're talking about. But I can't do it. Get me out.
Well, I'm glad that you stuck it out. I'm glad you didn't vomit or turn it off and say, guys, this for a first time in a Panda View first, I didn't finish the movie. I couldn't do it.
Believe me, I wanted to, but I have integrity. I'm gonna finish the shitty thing that I'm being paid to watch. I'm gonna respect the wishes of the person on the other end who did this to me. But it's not going to stop me from ripping it a new one if it's bad. So
that's totally fair. I think that's very respectable. See, you stick to your guns, and that's all we can ask of you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Christian, I feel good. I feel like we have given enough of our opinion and enough of a synopsis of this show. Are we ready to move on to the later part? I know you're like, we could have done it within the first 15 minutes.
I would love nothing more than to move on. Yeah.
All right. So am I up first? I'm up first.
Yes.
Christian, I'm going to level with you. So I have, similarly to what we did with Hamilton, I brought up Broadway revenues and budgets. This show, maybe it will, maybe it won't surprise you, was a little hard to hone in on. So what I will ask you, Christian, what do you think the budget of this was? I'm going to lead with that.
This show has significantly less staying power than something like Hamilton did, I imagine, and also less known names. That's what I'm looking for here. And Hamilton's budget was like what, 10 million or some shit like that, right?
Yes.
I know you probably don't have that number readily available, but
that sounds right. Something like that sounds right.
I'm gonna say something like this, and I don't know how well known these actors and actresses are in the Broadway universe, but I'm gonna go like $1 million on this, maybe two. I'll say $2 million for the benefit of the doubt. $2 million on this.
So I have a confession to make.
All right, this is starting great.
This is starting great. I don't actually have the true budget, but what I do have is, at the time of its closing, it still had capitalization costs. And those costs, these are unrecouped costs, was in the ballpark of $9 to $10 million.
What?
So
Whoa.
This musical cost north of $10 million, as my understanding.
That's wild. Why?
Somewhere in that.
What?
Somewhere in there. Now, I will say this. Capitalization costs, it's a weird figure because now the money that it earns doesn't immediately cover capitalization costs, right? So it could have made money, but that just like pays out like the revenue or like the venue and like the actors and like all the stunts and like the people. So when it says capitalization costs, that is like strictly, as I understand it, like what it would cost to just make it from scratch. This is it. So capitalization costs are kind of like a mortgage. They don't get paid off right away, right? Like you pay interest down before you pay the principal. Does that kind of make sense?
Sure.
So this musical made far more than 9 to 10 million, but with the revenue that it did make, it didn't cover all of its capitalization costs. There was still a remainder of 9 to 10 million. This show lost money.
Yeah.
So all that being said, what do you think it made?
I don't.
Would you like to know the lowest earning show on Wikipedia that they have on Wikipedia?
I mean, so the number you're proposing then, in theory, is more than $10 million.
Yes.
Or I mean, it's probably a bit more than that. But
this is why this was hard for me to find, because I couldn't find like a number. It was like they paid off some of it, but still had a difference.
Right. So that means it even cost more than like $10 million to make then.
Correct. At least that's my understanding of how this all plays out.
Fucking stupid ass musical. There's no way this shit costs more than Hamilton to make, bro. What are you talking?
Oh my God. I know, dude.
What are you talking about, man? $22 million. That's my guess. They made quote unquote made $22 million.
To remind the people at home, when we were talking Hamilton is the fourth highest grossing Broadway show of all time, still running from 2015. It is currently grossed $911 million. Christian is suggesting that this musical ran and only collected $20 million. It ran for 2 years. From 2006 to late 2008. Actually, fun fact, it closed because they were afraid of the economic downturn during the 2008 financial crisis.
Good.
You're like, wow, this is one good thing that came out in 2008. Yeah, so that happened. Yeah, this musical made $56 million.
Christ, and they still came up negative.
They still came up negative.
What is wrong with them?
Oh man, dude, I don't know, man. Don't look at me. I don't know how all this math works, and I wish I could have found you just a cost and a gross, but I couldn't. This is all I had.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into a number like cost with an ongoing show like this, because how do you what do the actors make per, do they get paid per show? I assume. I
assume,
and then
some kind of salary.
Having the space, and then the behind the scenes people. It's just such an ongoing cost that I imagine it's it can't be as clear cut as a movie. But to say that this had so much more budget involved than actually good movies is crazy. I don't. I would sit down and watch the other movie that we got recommended this month, Snatch. I would sit down and watch that 20 times over if it meant I never had to watch Legally Blonde the musical again. And that movie was made on like $1 million.
Yeah, I get you.
So crazy. 56 million, and they didn't even come out positive. Disgusting.
You know, it's a damn shame. It unfortunately did so poorly that it's not listed in the top 25 of shows. Now, to be fair, the top 25 musicals of all time are that's actually a pretty thin list or whatever. But it makes it harder to find any information anywhere because it's not on Wikipedia. Then I couldn't find it in like its main page on Wikipedia either. I guess like no one knows what this fucking musical costs.
IMDb doesn't have anything.
I'll look it up. Hang on one sec.
That's where I would that's where I tended to get a lot of box office stuff when I do it when you're not here.
I will check.
I usually standardize myself on IMDb.
Legally Blonde. Oh, do you know what this has on IMDb? The musical.
What?
Are you ready for this?
I bet I'm not, but go on.
An 8.3.
Oh, you meant the rating. Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me. I thought you were telling me the budget.
Oh, no. I haven't got that yet. I haven't got that yet.
That's a rating.
All right, one sec. All right, budget. Huh. Okay. No. Oh no, that's box office. No, box office budget. This has to be. Oh, you know what it is? It's the theatrical release of the MTV.
Oh.
Yeah, this doesn't count. This is
okay. That actually makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just giving me the MTV theatrical show of it, because it said the budget was 1.5 million. So yeah, it cost MTV 1.5 million to put this shit up in a movie theater.
Yeah, or to just film it, probably. Like
or maybe that
to hire the people to film it and then put it on TV or whatever. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that was a thing.
It was a thing. Wait, is there a fucking made for TV musical of this?
Isn't that what we've been talking about the entire time?
No. Hold on. I think I just found like the made for like the movie version of this shit. Is there a movie version of this shit?
What are you talking about?
No, not the MTV. Like an actual like a normal movie version of this shit.
Like a Mamma Mia style thing?
Yeah, like a Mamma Mia style thing.
There's no way they did this.
No, I think it's another. Oh, you know what? It's a UK. It's the same shit, but it's a UK version of the show. That's what it is.
The musical show.
Yeah. It's the same. It's the same shit as what we just watched, but a UK cast. Okay, well, that's different then. Maybe it would have been better. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't want to find out.
I'm gonna find out. I'll watch it. Fuck, I don't care.
Jesus, man. Okay, you gotta find something else to do with your time.
That's what I have for you. I couldn't find hard numbers as much as I tried, so that's the best I have, and I don't want to waste too much time.
All right. Well, I appreciate you for doing the necessary digging anyway. All right. So I have Letterboxd reviews as usual.
Okay. Yes. How are the reviews this time around?
Oh, I mean, I can give you the broad stroke of anyone who went out of their way to come to Letterboxd fucking loves this thing. The same way that anyone who went out of their way to go to IMDb and leave a rating really fucking loves it, and that's why it's got an 8.3. I can assure you.
Sure, yeah, right.
So that being said, I when I tell you, I had to dig for people who left.
I feel like I'm noticing a pattern. You've been digging a lot lately.
I had to do some digging, but at the end of the day, finding reviews that are worth reading of people who think negatively of this was basically impossible. Because it's just anyone who has a negative opinion goes, "Oh, this shit was like annoying and bad." Like that's it. There's no depth to why or anything not even funny. They didn't even make it funny, which is the worst part. Like at least
no good meme.
At least make it funny if you're gonna shit on this musical. But they don't. So a lot of my Letterboxd reviews you're gonna see. I picked out funny ones. They just may not be like negative takes on it. So anyway, let's dive in here.
Let's dive in.
I'm gonna start with this one. This is the number one review. Luckily, a lot of times the number one review tends to be something worth reading. So, and when I say number one, I mean most liked. It has this is the one with the most likes. And this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier as well with sort of people on Letterboxd reviews being kind of unanimous. most of the reviews for this are just people thirsting over Christian Borle. And you know what? All of them are right. And Emmett has always been the superior man.
Okay. So this guy came here, left a review. What was the first thing he said? The first thing he said was what?
Oh, most of the reviews for this are just people thirsting over Christian Borle, which is the guy's name, the actor who plays Emmett.
Yes. Okay, but he's here, and he's also saying that they're right.
And
so
you know
therefore,
what? They're all right.
So therefore, he's here. He's making that claim. He gave it a 5 out of 5.
This was a 4.5 star review.
God.
You were close.
Dude.
I don't know what they
They
knocked off half a star for, but you got screwed.
God damn it. That's stupid. All right, fair enough.
So, this is another part of the Letterboxd reviews that I was kind of alluding to earlier when you were mentioning the comparison between this and the musical. This was a very common theme across a lot of them too. This review just simply states, better than the film, and I will die on this hill.
Really? Ooh.
And this was not an uncommon take.
Interesting. That's a yikes. That's a little bit of a yikes. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say they're here. Their review. It's 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 review.
This one was 5 stars.
God, come on, man! God damn it! I can't find it. All right, come on, give me the next one.
All right, so this one, I'm gonna take you on a little bit of a journey that somebody wanted to go on in their Letterboxd review. It's not super long, but it also juxtaposes the review a little bit that I just read. So, because I know what I just said. I know I just said that it was not an uncommon take that people liked this better than the film. However, this person says it still slaps, even if I prefer the film. But it also reminded me that my drama teacher, who hated me and was also a blonde, auditioned or wanted to audition for Elle Woods, I can't fully remember, when it was doing an Aussie tour back in like 2012, 2013. And this one classmate of mine was always such an ass kisser and told her she would have been a great Elle. And she absolutely would not have been a great Elle. Elle Woods would never have treated me badly for not participating in activities when I was literally still recovering from spinal surgery. Thank you.
I see where this went. Well,
I hope you're doing well after your spinal surgery, whoever you are, by the way.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well after that spinal surgery. I'm gonna say they like the movie better, and they still like, but they this has got to be a 4 out of 5. This feels like 4 out of 5 energy.
Let's go!
Yeah, we did it! We found it, baby!
4 out of 5 stars.
Now we're talking. We fucking did it, baby!
Let's go! All right, so that
was a journey.
Further, it was insane. I love the introduction of this other character in the class, and this reviewer's opinion, like relating it, like Elle Woods would never have treated me so badly.
Elle Woods would never have done this to me.
Indignation.
The indignation.
Okay, I have 3 more reviews for you. All not nearly as long as that one, but still pretty funny nonetheless. I am going to read you this one, short and sweet. Her last name is Woods, and his last name is Forrest. Fate.
Okay. I actually didn't even notice that. I'm surprised that I'm a fool. His name was Emmett Forrest. What a fucking dweeb of a name. Anyway, I'm gonna say, God, this could go either way. This is either like you just came in, you just dropped you dropped a bomb and threw a 3 out of 5 on the table, or you came in that like you genuinely mean this. This is like your hardest belief, and you're like 5 out of 5. I'm gonna go with 4.5. 4.5.
Ooh, that hurts.
Oh no,
that hurts. Especially after you gave this or that, and then went with neither. This was a 5-star review.
Oh,
you gave yourself a 50-50 shot, and then you said, you know what? I don't want that. That's too good odds for me.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't believe in myself. Shit.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I'm gonna need you to channel that into this next one.
Okay, for sure.
I hope my future girlfriends can live with the fact that this is a first date movie for me. And even though they said movie, I imagine they're still referring to the musical. Unless they do mean Legally Blonde the movie, and they're just on the wrong page.
And
but
they're on
who
the
knows?
wrong page. Honestly, I bet that could be the thing. That's probably true, actually. Well, that's got to be a 5 out of 5. It's a 5 out of 5 or a 4 out of 5. I'm gonna go with 5. He went all in for sure.
I think he probably left that extra star off when he realized he was reviewing the musical, and then just didn't care anymore because this was a 4-star review.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow, what a fucking loser.
First date movie, but still only 4 stars. Kind of wild take, right?
Did he? Can you see like if there's like an edited like thing on it or something? Like, has it been edited?
It does not say.
I don't know. I bet he gave it a 5, came back, realized his mistake, and gave it a 4 because he watched the musical and was like, I mean, it was still good.
I believe it. I would totally believe that.
Just saying.
I'm gonna read this last review, and this might be my favorite review I've ever read on Letterboxd.
Wow, really? It holds that much merit.
It holds that much merit, but
wow.
I'm not even gonna say anything. And I swear to you, this is real. This is there. You can go look on Letterboxd and go to the reviews. This is there. I promise.
Okay. Yep.
Hamilton can fuck off. This is a real musical.
Oh, fuck.
I cannot tell you how hard I laughed when I read that shit. Unbelievable. Not only is it an awful take, but the fact that it's just so relevant.
It's so relevant.
This is the third most liked review, by the way, on Legally Blonde the Musical's Letterboxd page. And then somebody commented on it, by the way. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but you can comment on other people's reviews. Somebody commented whose username is Princess of Movie. They just said taste in uppercase. Both of you don't know what you're talking about. And all 288 people who liked this review don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, they don't really like musicals.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That's incredible. I didn't know what I was up against. And the fact that you now know how wild of a take that is too.
I love the series of decisions that not only I had to make, but other people had to make to end up in this position. Like, not only did we have to get recommended both of these musicals at the same time in the same month, but I did this scheduling. I chose to make Hamilton the one we did first, and then Legally Blonde second. It was based off nothing. I assumed I wouldn't like either one of them, and then I end up liking Hamilton, and this one's garbage. Like,
oh my god, this is it was meant to be.
Life is wild.
All right. I'm gonna say. This is a 5. It's got to be a 5.
It's 100% a 5-star review. Absolutely a 5-star review.
Oh man, that's
it's
so
a 0-star
good.
take.
it's a 0 out of 5 for positive take.
Absolutely
criminal. But it's a 5-star. That's 5-star if I've ever heard it.
This is my favorite thing I've ever read on for Letterboxd for this anyway. Like, for the purposes of making reviews of movies, this is my favorite thing.
The stars aligned. The stars really did. That's incredible.
Absolutely insane.
Well, Christian, I could say with absolute sincerity that you really did get you got a very palatable? No, not palatable. You got a broad foray into the musical sort of spectrum here, and we watched both of them as recorded Broadway shows. So you not only watched 2 musicals, but you watched 2 traditional Broadway shows. And I'm glad that you did it with me. I'm glad that you made it this far.
I am happy that these at least both worked out in fun ways, one way or another. That Hamilton turned out to actually be good, and Legally Blonde was easy to make fun of, and then also gave me this Letterboxd review.
At the end of the day, you still had something to look forward to.
I still had something to laugh about. I have been sitting here bouncing in my chair for the last hour and change waiting to read you that review.
So glad you saved it for the end. Oh man. Oh, a worse man would have led with that shit.
Absolutely
and been like,
not. You got to be saving the best for last. When it's something like that, oh my God, are you kidding me?
That's amazing, Christian. Thank you for doing this. I had a great time. I stand by. This is a fun show. I don't think I'd spend exorbitant amount of money to see it, but I had a good time. I enjoyed my time. It was a fun recommendation. I haven't seen it myself, so to that I'll say sweet. I am gonna rewatch the movie though, because I'm pretty sure the movie was better than this. I'm just gonna say it. I'm like pretty sure it was better than this, but I don't know. We'll double check.
Actually, wait. Go to what does Legally Blonde the movie have on IMDb?
Legally Blonde. 1 sec. The 2001 film on IMDb.
It's gonna be lower. I just know it.
I don't think it is.
It's gonna be.
It can't be.
It can be.
Oh no!
Is it like a full star? Tell me it's like a full star below. It's like a 7.1 or something. Watch.
Christian, the musical version got an 8.6 or
it was
1?
3.
8.3. The original movie got a 6.5.
Jesus.
I don't think this is true. It can't be true.
How many reviews did that movie actually get? I'm looking at the musical page right now. It has 2K reviews.
Okay, this has 244K because this is obviously like an actual classic.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of like
diehard musical fans
being like, this is amazing. I'm gonna go and review it on IMDb so that everybody else knows it's amazing.
Like it's still campy and dumb and has manufactured bullshit. Don't get me wrong, but it's like Clueless. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen Clueless? Maybe you haven't seen Clueless.
No.
Okay, well watch Clueless. That is a good movie. I'll stand by Clueless. I know I've got that one in the pocket. I know that movie front to back. Clueless is a good fucking movie. It's like a coming of age like chick flick from like the early 2000s or maybe late 90s or something. Highly recommend. Great flick. This has got, from what I remember, it had Clueless energy, which is why I don't think it was worse than the musical. So I don't know. I'll rewatch it. We'll double check. Make absolutely sure.
Yeah, please let me know. Unless, of course, we end up having to watch it next month for some reason or another because of our lovely patrons.
I mean, shit, dude. It's probably going to end up just being a fucking movie might at this rate.
Who knows? But anyway, continuing on this line, this one was given to us by Rin from our Discord. She backed by several others. This was she's just the one who fronted the money, and so she gets the credit. Thank you, Rin.
Thank you, Rin, for giving us this recommendation this week. And in addition to Rin, even though it wasn't your recommendations, we also still have 2 other producers, Twigo and is it Taco?
It is Taco
now. We love you. We love you as well. I'm sure that Twigo already has his Hamilton by now. I'm sure Hamilton comes out first.
I will make sure Hamilton comes out first. Hamilton has to come out first because of the Letterboxd review. Yeah,
no, that makes a lot of sense. I think you're onto something there. So I'm glad we did this. I had a great time. Christian, do you want to plug us?
Yeah,
I'm just not very good at the plugs. Ren always tells me I'm bad at it.
Does she now? Well,
she does.
In that case, let me do it so that it's not also attached to her movie review podcast. Thank you for listening. You would like to follow us on Instagram and Twitter to keep up with us a little bit. We have an email also. That's Panda Sightings. The Twitter and Instagram are also at Panda Sightings. Pandasightings@gmail.com is our email. You can tell us all kinds of things, send us emails, whatever. We'll read them maybe. And if you would like to be like Rin and support us on Patreon, that's Panda Sightings as well. Plenty of awesome people to meet with Rin in our public Discord, where you the aforementioned Newbie Mites, where we watch stuff, we talk about stuff. We're fairly frequently in there chatting with people. So if you'd ever like to interact with us more directly or more immediately than the email, the Discord's the place to do it. And if you are here, you probably know about our One Piece podcast. If not, we have a One Piece podcast. If you're not into anime, I understand, but give it a check out anyway. We have a Redbubble with a lot of merch tied to that podcast specifically. Maybe one day we'll have some kind of PandaView or specific thing at a base level, like maybe we put the PandaView logo on there. I don't know. And that's mostly it. You can in an effort to try and reiterate this for the next couple of weeks as well, or continue to reiterate it, we're on YouTube now. So if you're listening to this, but you'd prefer to be listening to us on YouTube, we have ported over all of our episodes of both PandaView and the the aforementioned One Piece podcast there for your listening pleasure.
Woohoo! Yeah, listen to us on YouTube.
If you're one of those like 15 people in the world who pay for YouTube's subscription service.
Yeah, the YouTube whatever it is
Red
that you can
whatever,
listen to
I
shit
don't know.
with your phone locked or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it do be like that. Hey, but if you are and that's what you want, then power to you. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I'm glad you have the disposable income to just throw it on YouTube like that.
I unironically have at least one friend that does have that.
Oh no.
To be fair, it's because they use it for music and they prefer. I guess I don't really know why, but they like YouTube music algorithm more than they like the Spotify music algorithm. It's a conversation. I can't speak to it. I don't know much about it, but anyway.
All right. That's it. Brendan, thank you again one last time for joining me on this journey.
Band and snap. Band and snap.
Here.
I'm glad you had fun.
I have a feeling we're going to be doing this at least once a month now because Twiggo apparently very into musicals. So,
yep, I learned that as well. And I was like,
possibility we could be here once a month. And man, I am just not looking forward to it.
Surely, I feel like Twiggo especially, he diversifies. He likes to diversify. He wouldn't. Well, yeah, he might. I don't know. I can't speak for the man.
Who knows? I mean, he. If anything, I can fall back on the idea that he's the one who recommended Hamilton. So, like, maybe he's got decent enough musical taste. But eventually, you fuckers will have to run out of good musicals, and I'll just be watching garbage the whole time. So
eventually, it's all fun and games until we all start going down into the depths and going and pick it up like My Fair Lady or some shit.
Don't even know what that is, but I hate it.
Yeah, it's older one, so that's don't worry about it. Anyway, thank you for listening. Bend and snap, folks.
Good night, everybody, or good morning,
good afternoon, good night.
There's no in between.